Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Today is Sunday the 24th of July 2022, and I'm going to try and do a few fixes on my BMW Z4 E89, which is the Mark II model with the hardtop, a convertible hardtop. So today I'm going to replace the left rear light cluster, because even though you can change the brake light bulb and the running light bulb, because the turn signal, the left indicator, is a string of LEDs at the back, you have to replace the entire light cluster, unfortunately. So the first time I looked online for prices for this light cluster, it was up to 300 and 350 pounds. But in the end I managed to get something, and I'll tell you the place I got it from a bit later in the description. In the end I managed to get it for about 160. So we'll take a look. I'm going to swap the camera around and we'll take a look in the boot at the new light fitting, and then we'll identify where all the fixing points are, and then hopefully I'll figure out how to take off the old one. I was looking on YouTube for videos for replacing this light cluster. I couldn't find any, so I thought I'd make one as I go along and figure out how to pull out the old one and put the new one in. Okay. So as I said, today is the 24th of July, and as you can see, it's quite hot in England at the moment. It's plus 28 degrees. At 1:25 in the afternoon. I'll try and show what happens with the indicator, but typically it probably won't work. Alright, see, you can see the indicator warning light come up, and the first time I found out about this issue was when the indicator changed sound. So if you press to the right, it's got a steady clicking to the right, but then how I found out was when I clicked it to the left, and it probably won't show the fault today. You see, it doesn't always happen. It seems to be working at the moment. The left indicator is clicking at the same time, but the reason why I knew something was wrong is because the clicking was like tick, 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 much faster than what it is showing at the moment now. So let's go outside. I'll show you what's going on. So yeah, typically it's not showing the fault when I want it to on video, and it's working fine, but the other day you heard the indicator click, 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 click. It's a very quick sound inside, indicating normally with the BMW that one of the bulbs is gone and you need to change it. So it's working at the moment, as I said. This is the side indicator and the front indicator. Everything's working fine at the moment, but it definitely needs to be changed because it sort of swaps from working to not working. It's definitely working today, but it's not working in general. Okay, so let's just turn off the engine. Let's go into the back. Let's let this fly out. Okay, right. Into the back. Let's take a look at the new light fitting. So there's the original light fitting made by Magneti Marelli, and I got this from a German company. So it's exactly the same part, just not direct from BMW. So for some reason, probably for that reason, they've scratched out the serial number on it. But as you can see, it's exactly the same part. So that connects into the electronics. We've got one bulb there, and one bulb there. So fog, running light, and brake light. And then what looks to me as two fixings, I think. So another one. Not sure what these are, but we'll have a look as we go along. So bear with me, it's going to be quite a long in real time video. We're going to try and get access to the left side here with some plastic tools, and then we're going to get a socket set on it to try and take it off. Okay, so to the back of the car. As I said, I'm replacing the left side, and then later on I was going to put a couple of fins on the lower vents at the front. So if we've got time, I'm going to show you how I'm going to tackle this. So I didn't really want to go backwards because this is the M Sport grille, which as you can see is kind of a hexagonal, like flattened hexagonal pattern. The standard version, which is just a crisscross mesh, I'd have to change all three just to get the fin. So if I show you what I mean. So I bought these fins. To go in the lower half here. So that's what I'll be doing a bit later. I'm just simply going to drill 4 holes, and then because they've sort of got this little fixing, I'm just going to slot them in, and hopefully they'll just hold by itself like that without me having to swap out all these meshes to fit to match. So apparently this was the facelift version. So my car is a 2010. This facelift version with the lower fins and the lower mesh came out in 2013, I believe. And in my opinion, it looks quite nice because I upgraded my grills from, it was a chrome surround and had black fins, vertical fins. Yeah, I changed it to the chrome surround and silver fins. So these lower fins on the these fins on the lower grille will look quite nice and complement these kidney grills that I've just done. Okay, battery might cut out, so I might just grab a battery pack to plug this camera in. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to stop this video and plug it in for a while. Okay, so we're back again. Hopefully this doesn't cut out. So as I was trying to explain, this is the new unit, exactly the same from Magneti Marelli. It's got two little stud here. I don't know what those are for, but then it's got two screws here. So hopefully I can reuse the old one. New rubber seal. So okay, we'll put that nice and safe in the box, and then we'll try and access this area to try and get this rear light up. Okay, got some plastic tools. Start with this hard plastic cover here. I don't know what it does. Okay, so these clips are made up of two parts. So whether you can see here, there's a little stud thing that goes into a hole, and then when it goes in there, it kind of expands the plug. So there's one there. really good to have these plastic tools because it doesn't damage the paintwork. Okay, so it seems like there's another cover here. Not cover, I mean plug or whatever you call it. Plastic screw, plastic bolt. Okay, so that lifts that part off. Three plastic bolts holding that in place. Let's see if I can. So all I'm trying to do is expose this area to get access to this rear light. Okay, so it looks like the light cover. Let's see if we've got one here. Actually, I didn't even check whether this is the right unit or not. Okay, goes that way. So it goes right round the side. So this cover here is actually covering this part here. So they don't give you another one in the replacement, which is fine. Okay, a little felt cover that just pulls off. Maybe this cover comes off. There's a felt cover. Plastic. Sure. Looks like it should. Ah. There we go. Ah, okay. So there's another plastic cover. That one comes off. It's got three of those plastic bolts I was telling you about. This one has got three clips. You can see there, three clips there. So you just press and that comes off completely. That's another cover plate for this area here. Part of the convertible mechanism, I think. Reveals this little flappy compartment for the lid, and what I'm going to try and do is get that off now. So pull this off. Again, a couple of plastic bolts. Use the pry tool, plastic pry tool, get these off. Quite stubborn. Take your time, want to break it off. Okay, there's another one there. This one's quite stubborn in the corner. What? No, I'm doing a video. Broken, still intact, that's fine. Good. A little wiggling around. Hopefully this will come out as well. Ah, there's another one, so lift up the lid here. Let's see if catching this on camera. Okay, not quite, so let me lower this. Okay, you can see it better now. So this little felt cover here, we've removed the plastic bolt there and a plastic bolt there, 1, 2, and there's one underneath this mini cubby hole. So open that lid, and there's another one there. Okay, another one there. Good. That entire thing lifts out. Set that aside. Alright, so kind of getting there now. We can disconnect this light, I guess. Let me just check on this one. So so this light looks like that light there. Don't know whether we should disconnect that just yet. Okay, so let's just try and find this bolt connector and this bolt connector. Still might need to remove some more plastics. Okay, let me just take my watch off. Plastics. Looks like another bit of plastic that comes on. 2 volts here. Let's try that. Okay, another bolt. Plastic bolt there. How does this piece of plastic come out? Looks like it's locked between this, behind this roof mechanism, so I may just put that back and then lift the roof mechanism into half position and see if I can get it off then. Okay, yeah, let's try that. Bloody horse flies. Things. Okay. Keep that in place. And we'll put one of those clips back on, just in case I don't want the plastic moving and snapping off. Okay, so let's put the luggage compartment in so that the roof can fold down. Let me think. Let's take the tools out just in case. Dodgy. Let's see. Let's get this aero out of the way. Let's try and turn the engine off. Okay. So I'm going to be cutting my arms off. Let's take this luggage compartment out of the way. Can I access this piece of plastic now? Let's have a look. Yeah. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's just take this plug off and just put it back on again. In there. brilliant, that comes off very easily now. And then yes, okay, so as you can see, there's 2 bolts to release this light here and bring this around to the other side. This will close up. So this is the key part that you're looking for. Okay, so can you see here? Let me get my plastic tool. Maneuver this into place. Okay, it's not particularly easy. Okay, all right, so just have to show you like this. All right, so this is the back of the light. You can see the rubber part going through the body, keeping the water from coming from the outside of the car inside the car. 2 rubber pieces here. Okay, so this is the brake light or running light, fog light, 3 bulbs that are replaceable. But then, as you know, if you've got this car, the E89, there's a strip of LEDs here which is not user replaceable, which means that you have to replace the entire unit, which is really silly. Okay, all right, sorry, I'm just trying to avoid all the horse flies. Horrible things. Right, so 2, get off, go away. Right, 2 bolts here, 1, 2. Once I get my socket set out in a minute, I'll tell you what size that is, but that corresponds with the new unit. So as long as we unbolt this, and then we'll take this switch off as well here, we should be able to slot in the new one and then test it out. Okay, right, let's set this up. So you can see you had to kind of partially open the roof so that the roof goes in the opposite direction. I mean the boot lid goes in the opposite direction, and you keep it in this position where the roof is folded over the top of the car, and then that's how you can access the back like this. So I was fearful that you could damage the car by only partially opening the car, partially opening the roof, but it seems to be okay so far. Okay, so we'll find out if I've messed it up at all, but let's just keep that on there for now, and I'll carry on with dismantling the old light. Okay, so it looks like this plug needs to come out, so whether you can see or not, there's a little square here, so I'm going to use something to press into that and then release that plug, the electric plug. Let's try and stick something in there, sharp piece, pointed piece, I mean, wiggle that out, it'll just come straight out like that, which is really good. That is attached to the car, so that's the car bit. Looks like this is attached to the body as well, so okay, so just gentle twist and it comes off. So there's a rectangle piece of plastic and a rectangle cut out in the metal body of the car, so that just lines up. That lines up, and then that twists about 45 degrees to bring the connector to horizontal position, where the plug from the car can slot straight into it. Okay, so twist that 45 degrees, that releases that. We're going to get the socket set and try and get this light out now. Okay, so millimeters, since this is a German car. Let's see what here. Okay, I've got a 9mm. It's not a 9mm, that's too loose. Let's try an 8mm. There we go, 8mm. 8mm socket. So let's get the other bits and pieces through it. So where's the extension arm? Okay, that's a 10mm that goes back into the holder. Okay, so adapter that goes into the 8mm. The extension arm that goes into the adapter, and then the medium size ratchet thing, or whatever you call it. That's a big one. That's 1/2 inch. This one is the, I don't know, no marking on that. So that goes into the extension arm, that goes into the adapter, that goes into the 8mm socket set. All right. Let's reverse the direction so it's going that way, anti-clockwise, and that goes straight into one of the bolts, which is really loose. Not sure whether this has been replaced before, but it feels like it actually. Because from the outside, if you compare the left and the right hand sides, yeah, this side, the left side, which is a faulty side, seems to be detached towards the bottom of the light where the LED is. So I don't know, this could be a replacement light already that's been taken from a junkyard or somewhere. So I was gonna say I was gonna reuse those bolts, just seeing whether these compare with the new ones I just bought for something else. Okay, so we're going to reuse that because it's slightly different. It's got a big washer on these. Okay, so that's one off, and then hopefully I can get to this one. I may have to take the extension arm off with this one and go direct in. Yeah, that's it. There's not much room with the roof mechanism, so take the extension arm off straight in there. And let's get the second bolt off. Don't seem to be any, doesn't seem to be a third bolt as some forum members have mentioned. It's just these two bolts on my European model light cluster. Okay, so that way you can see. Try and get these in shot. So two captive nuts and washers. These are perfectly fine, so we'll reuse them. Okay, so we'll gently push these rubber, whatever you call it, seals through the body, and the light should release nice and gently. Let's have a look at what's going on outside the car. Just a bit of a tight fit there. Cool, okay, so that is the existing light cluster out of the body. So yeah, on the new one I was wondering what these two ball and socket ball connectors are, and if you look into the body, these just fit into a rubber socket. So just like a hip socket, the ball and socket joint, this is a ball, and then the socket is a rubber socket joint that I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to bring the tripod around in a second. Let's see how these bulbs fit in. It's an H21W. These look a little bit burnt. Let's show you this one first. So this sorry, I've got my phone attached to the tripod with two cable ties, so I can't really take the phone on and off that easily. So can you see there? Let me just try the magnification. So these are the two rubber sockets, and this is where the two ball heads fit into. Yeah, so that's what I was wondering, what was on the new unit, what that was about. So they just clearly fit in there, and I will clean up the edge of this hole before we put the new socket in a minute. Let's just see if there's anything untoward or dodgy. Nothing wrong there, just a bit of dust over the years. 2010 model. Do need to touch up the paint here on the back here. Not sure if somebody ran their trolley into my car the other day, but that's a fresh wound. This is an old one. I've got to get around to replacing this reflector, which is about 20 quid. It's not cheap, not expensive, but it's kind of a nice to have at the moment, so I'm kind of holding off on that. That's quite easy to replace. So okay, right, let's put the tripod here. Let's focus on the back of the car now, and I just want to check over a few things on the old light here. Okay, so as I said, these are the two ball joints, and then there's got some kind of silicone spacer there. If you look at the bottom of the unit here, it's all kind of come apart. The plastics come apart from the body of the light cluster. There's kind of corrosion at the bottom. So I'm guessing that's why this light cluster is a bit intermittent now, and needs to be replaced. A bit of bad design actually. If it was me, I'd be able to, I would have designed it so that you can take the strip of LEDs out, which probably only costs about £5 maximum, and replace that, as well as being able to replace these ones, which are just standard. So that's a H21W. As I said, they're slightly burnt out, but still okay. That's H21W. I don't know whether these are, fit only one side. It looks like they can fit both sides. So that's the connector. Those are the only two bolts to fit it to the body of the car. This doesn't come out properly. The whole housing's come out with the bulb holder. Okay, I'm not gonna pull that out. It's just kind of stuck. So that's the running light, I believe. And then you've got the fog light here, which is the same as the brake light, I think. Or vice versa, I don't know which one's which. Doesn't really matter. So that's the H21W. The other one, this white plastic, is a W16W. So I'll go back and look up exactly which one is which, and I'll put it in the description below the video, just in case you're interested. All right, let's put this aside and let's get the new unit in. Before we do that, let's give the edge of the light housing and the body a wipe. Might as well. Never been touched in the last 12 years. A nice clean. Around the rubber as well. And I should have bought my gummy pledge. to renew this rubber around the light fitting. It should be fine though. Years of dust build up. Don't really need to clean this off too much. I mean, it'll be fine. Nothing too dirty here, but we might as well clean it up while we're here. Around this grommet or rubber socket, whatever you want to call it. Always have these odd names for things. You always find that when you go to the parts department, have no idea what you're asking for. But you know, the good thing is they've got a map of everything with an exploded view of every single part. They kind of point out which part you want to replace. Okay, good stuff going there. One last wipe. Sorry for doing this in real time. I know it's a bit boring. I don't know, if it's me watching this video, I'd want to see things in real time, just so that if I'm copying, doing exactly the same thing, I'm not missing anything. And I know I like to talk, but I find it useful when I'm watching videos, so I tend to do the same. More information the better. Again, this is specifically for my car, so I don't know, hopefully it's successful, but I don't know whether it's going to be exactly the same procedure for you and your car. So do bear that in mind when you're replacing your light, because I assume that you're watching this video because you have a similar issue with your indicator or turn indicator. Okay, that doesn't look good. So I'm just talking about the seal around my roof, which probably need to clean around all the edges and then get the gummy stift, how are you supposed to pronounce that, around that to renew the rubber and expand it back to its original glory as much as possible to help with the water seal, weather seal, I mean. Alright, one last wipe. I promise I'll start to get the light fitting in. It's just when I lock this light fitting in, it's the last time I can wipe around this rubber seal, at least this part that goes round the light fitting. So I just want to get it nice and clean. Don't really want to take it off again to check any leaks if there's rain. So just want to do it once, do it right. Okay, as clean as I can get it. I'm happy with that. Okay, so shall we take this off now? Yeah, why not? Let's take the seal off the light. Oh, nice and new. Let's just check the integrity of it, because I haven't checked it since it was delivered. Nice seal everywhere. It's beautiful. check these bulbs. Beautiful and fresh and new, H21W. So we're going to have the H21W label facing upwards on this one. Doesn't look like it matters, as I said, but let's put it back exactly how it was shipped to me. Let's just check this light as well, the white one that I couldn't pull out of its housing just now. So again, W16W, so it's a Toshiba 12 volt W16 watt bulb. Put that back into the white housing. Just pull straight out and pushes straight back in. And then this one, again, nice and clear. This is again another H21W. Okay. So actually this one is facing downwards, the label is facing downwards, so it kind of reinforces my theory that it doesn't really matter which way up these go. Should be the same. But for now, we're just going to put it exactly how it's shipped to me, just in case. Okay, alright, let's get this in. So this socket into the first hole, and then just line up these ball and socket joints. Right, so balls go into the rubber sockets. Okay, good. Oh, shit. It's difficult. Hold on. Still going. Quite windy today. It's just broken the tripod. Brilliant. Fantastic. At least the video is still going. That's fine. Okay. Alright, so let's carry on. Trying to maneuver this light fitting into the body. So let's try and get these rubber seals through the body. Really important, just take your time trying to line these grommets, the ball and socket joints first. That's how it came out, so that's how it's going to go in. A little bit awkward, but push it in. Okay, it's getting there. Hold it, support it while you're pushing the rubber seal, lifting it over the body. Let me just check one thing. There's multiple folds in the see there's multiple folds in the light here, so I just want to make sure which part goes through. I think it goes all the way through, the whole thing goes through, so I've got to make sure that so it goes right through the hole. It's really awkward to get in. Let's try another way. I think that's the only way to do it. You've got to line the ball and socket joints first, and then you just got to take your time squeezing and the thing. I might try one of the tools actually. See from this angle, a little bit awkward to film, but I'm trying to get those rubbers back in through the body so that it makes a nice seal. Line up the balls and the sockets. Okay. Pull this rubber through. It can't be that difficult, can it? Slowly does it. You don't want the metal of the body cutting the rubber seal. Nice and gently. Pull it through gently. Silent. I'm just trying to pull this rubber thing through. Looks like it's supposed to be okay. Getting there. Are we? Oh, getting there. Let's have a quick look at how the other one is done. You know what? I don't think this rubber is supposed to come through like that. It's just supposed to sit outside and form the seal like that, actually. Have another look. Okay, that's it. You don't pull the entire rubber thing through, just a little bit, and it kind of seals with a very short overlap, which is about 2 or 3 millimeters on the inside. Okay, so the reason why I was struggling is because I was trying to pull the entire rubber thing through, which you don't need to. So it's just a little lip, and that's sufficient to seal it from the outside of the fixture, or the fixing of the light cluster. Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's do that right round. Okay, that's done. So that's why personally I like to watch in real-time videos, because it helps you figure out what the hell is going on with your own equipment, your own car most of the time. Let me just pull the camera around and show you this. Right, so just now I was trying to pull this whole rubber thing through the body of the car. So I thought the metal body part of the car sits in here, but actually it doesn't. This part presses against each other, and this entire seal, this seal here, sits on the outside of the car, and only this small lip here sits on the inside of the car. Okay, so I was trying to pull the entire thing through, which is why I was having trouble pulling it all the way through uniformly, but actually you don't. So you just press the light combination against the body. This sits on the outside of the metal part of the car, and then this goes through the hole. This whole rubber thing goes through the hole, and then it's only this tiny lip that sits on the inside of the car. Okay, so I'm going to show you that now. As you can see here, if I pull this back, it's only a small lip that is sitting on the inside of the car. Yeah, so the rest of it is sitting on the outside of the car. All right, so that's fully sealed, that's fine. I mean, the entire light assembly is on the inside of this rubber housing anyway, so even if it drips, it's not going to get to the electronics itself. Okay. Should I put the camera for this? Okay. Put the camera back in here. I'm going to check the rubber seal one last time, and then I'm going to put the bolts back in. This is turning into a very, very long video, but we want to get it right. And apparently this is a very common fault. There was this guy that bought the same year car, 2010, and then he had to replace this left light assembly in about 6 years from new, which is not good. Okay, so let's just check the rubber seal all the way round. That's fine. Let's press it up and around the aperture. Make sure it sits right. Pressing that into the aperture at the same time as pressing the light fitting into the body of the car. Let's carry on pressing the rubber seal all the way around the edges into the aperture. Each hole here. Okay, then we can go ahead and again, if you remember, line up the two rectangles, so a rectangular hole with a rectangular plastic block, and it's a quarter turn to make this fitting line up horizontally, and then the plug connector from the body goes into it and clicks in. Okay, so that's all connected. Pressed all the rubber things home, press the whole indicator housing into the body, and then we're just going to tighten up the captive bolts and washers now to secure the unit. So finger tight first, and then we'll get the socket set onto it. Okay, without the extension. Let's switch the direction on the ratchet. Not too tight. That's tight enough, good. And on this one, actually you don't even need the extension on this side either. So again, just as a reminder, this is the 8mm socket to get these two bolts off. Okay, finger tight, very good. So that goes back in again. That's the 8mm. The adapter extension on. Okay. Right. That's to secure. 2 nuts, finger tight, and I'm going to put this cover plate back on. Might as well give it a quick wipe before we put it back. It's very awkward to get to once it's in place. So, quick wipe before we put it back. Okay, excellent. That just sits nicely there. And that plastic is so that we can get a nice cover to cover the bolt holes. The first plastic bolt to hold this plastic piece in place. And that's the, what do you call this? I don't know, female part, and the male part plug that goes in there. Another one at the back goes in there, and then the plug to secure it. That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, cover that part up, and then let's get this roof lid down. Not roof lid down, boot lid down. Alright, so let's have a quick test. Really bright sunshine, but I don't know whether you can see that. The indicator is working fine now. Side indicator there, front indicator there, and within the car cabin it's all working fine and dandy. Again, you can see left indicator, right indicator, cancel, left indicator, cancel, right indicator, cancel, and hazards, no more rapid indicator clicking. And if we turn off the engine, turn off the hazard lights again, let's boot up the engine again. Usually you would see the indicator, the yellow indicator light on the dash, meaning indicator bulb fault. It's not showing anything. So yeah, not an easy job, but not a difficult job. Just over an hour, and all in all it cost me 160. I'll look up the exact cost of this and then put the link in the description a bit later. As you can see, I need a service, so I'll be doing oil change and all that coming up soon, and also doing that mod for the lower fins, which I was just trying to do a bit earlier. There you can see I was drilling 4 holes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, through the M Sport. Through the M Sport side wheel, because I like the hexagonal M Sport side wheel. So all I want to do is to put this fin in through those 4 holes, and then that will finish off the look of the front of the car. Okay, I'm going to wind up here. I'm going to take some pictures to show you guys, but that's basically done. Yeah, job done.